Geoholic.
Good old dirty garage rock and roll. Blues. More blues.
Love it.
I know it. All right. Welcome back to Geoholics. Thanks for listening. Episode 234.
234.
Yes,
Believe
there's
it or
a ring
not.
to that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It sounds catchy.
It does.
There might be a
indeed.
name for it, but we're not going to go there.
I think we may have talked about it in the past,
Right.
but it's not coming back to me right now.
Sure.
I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
I know.
It's because we've both been so busy.
I know. It's been a whole week, and it feels like a lot longer than that.
I know it. What do our wives think of that?
Oh,
That we miss each other.
it's you are referred to as my podcast husband.
Well, fair enough.
I mean,
I'm better than your podcast wife.
Fair.
Yeah. I wear the pants in this relationship, by the way.
We will leave it at there.
What is new, my friend? What is new?
Oh, man. I always say not a whole lot. I mean,
you can't say it. I know you had some fun last Friday. You went to a Suns game.
Oh, yeah. Went to a Suns game, took the family and
Mhm.
some family friends,
Nice.
caught the team, catched up, like great seats. Buddy Ted LeClaire helped us out. And yeah, I mean, everyone had a great time. The team looks good.
Yep.
It's a fun atmosphere. Let's see here. Just the normal work stuff.
Yeah. You think the Suns are going to be any good this year?
Oh, yeah. I think they
Do you
will.
really?
I think they will improve from last year. All the core pieces are back, plus some very good additions.
So we have a gentleman at the curling club by the name of Bob LeClaire.
Oh, really?
Do you think they're related?
There can't be that many of them.
He's from Canada.
Oh, of course he is.
Is there any ties? Is Ted from Canada?
No, they're all from Michigan, but that's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's just across
Just
a
over the border.
couple ponds, and you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
But other than that, same old. Looking at, it's the dog days of consultant land right now. I mean, it's busy until the holidays. So, but that's to be expected.
Yep.
What about you, my friend? What's new with you?
What's new with me? Life's good, man. Went and saw my good friends, the Black Moods, last Friday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was
that's
really
why
cool.
I couldn't go to the show because I was at the Suns game,
right.
and
Yes.
that was for Oktoberfest, right?
Oktoberfest, Fort Peaks Oktoberfest, Tempe Town Lake. We did the VIP upgrades. We had like these really cool like side stage seats. You're just like right there on the side stage, and it was a really cool experience.
Oh, I'm sure
It was awesome. Yeah, they're just such good guys.
How
and
many
a great band.
How many times do you think you've seen them now?
Couple dozen.
Oh yeah,
Probably.
easy
For sure. Yeah. Big fan. Other than that, what else? Been busy with work. Was in California the last 3 days. Just got back this afternoon. Lots of really cool things going on. Massive projects happening.
Oh yeah, same.
And it's just excited to be a part of it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You're seeing the same thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
It seems like all the stuff we're looking at is huge projects.
Yeah. Right.
Just the scale.
Some
just
we
keeps
might
getting-
even team on. You
we
never
might,
know.
We might be able to work together
Big
again.
things are in the works.
Yeah. There's too many
Stay
NDAs
tuned.
in the way of details, but there
Yes,
might be some
exactly.
pretty great things in 2025 that we can
Indeed.
work together on.
Agreed. Looking forward to it, as a matter of fact. But let's move on.
What's upcoming with us?
With
What's the calendar look like?
A couple announcements to make. First of all, we are winding down 2024, obviously.
We are
2 months away from the end of our calendar year, fiscal year, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to be renewing our Friends of the Program for 2025
We are.
over the next 2 months.
Oh yeah.
So anybody listening, if it's something you're interested in, we'd love to hear from you. info@thegeoholics.com. Of course, our current Friends of the Program, couple of who we have on this evening, which I'm looking forward to highlighting, are of course going to get first right of refusal, let's say,
Absolutely.
to come back and be a part of it. But so that's exciting. The shop. Should we talk about the shop?
Yeah, we are so close to the merch store. We're getting there.
It's like the election. We're so close to the election.
I know.
Just wanna get it done.
I'm fairly confident the merch store will be live prior to the election.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay, good.
You got 2 weeks, buddy.
All right. I'm not working on it, but
So I'm looking forward to that going
our
live.
friends at Sport Techs are working on that for us.
Yeah, no, and it's going to be great. Like the stuff we picked out for merch is
Oh yeah, it's
freaking
gonna be
cool.
really cool.
Yeah, really cool stuff for you as listeners to be able to go on there and purchase. Other than that,
One more event before.
Oh yeah, we got Trimble Dimensions coming up.
Trimble
Which
Dimensions
again,
coming
nice
up.
tie-in to our guest this evening.
Yeah,
Looking forward to that one. Got our hotels. Got our booth set up. Trimble's always great to work with.
Yeah, super great. Yeah, it's always a good event.
Yep, it's going to be amazing.
I wish they did it every year, but what can you do?
They do it every year, but it seems like every other year is when we want to be there.
True.
This is the way I see it. Yeah. But looking forward to that one. That's probably the end of. Well, no, you know what? We're going to be at the drone deploy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We
did sneak in one of those. That's Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. That's going to be a lot of fun.
By the time this comes out, we will have already done it, but
we'll talk about it.
We'll still talk about it. Yes,
you will have seen it.
Yes, absolutely,
for sure. All right, let's move on. Next up, we have the NLC Prep Song of the Week. To find out more about NLC Prep, simply go to nlcprep.com. And what are they really good at? They're really good at getting you prepared to pass your land survey exam.
Yeah.
So if you are somebody listening that's getting ready to take your fundamentals or your professional, whatever, go to nlcprep.com. And if you go to the marketplace, the Geoholics marketplace, I think they have a discount code on there.
Yeah.
For
the geoholics.com, click on the marketplace. There's a little discount code there.
Yes. So check that out. So tell us about that opening number. That is one of my new favorite bands.
It's a new one to the Geoholics playlist, a group called Greyhounds, and that song was Get Back. Greyhounds is an American band formed in Austin, Texas. A lot of good music coming out of Austin, Texas. They're known for their unique blend of soul, funk, R&B, and rock. The core of the group consists of Andrew Trube and Anthony Farrell. Their music is characterized by smooth vocals, funky grooves, I'm sure you heard that, and a raw, soulful vibe that draws from the rich traditions of Southern soul and blues. The band is also known for its energetic live performances and has developed a dedicated fan base through its relentless touring and dynamic sound.
Well, obviously I have not seen them because I haven't heard about them until today, but I am
on the list.
I'm an immediate fan, and I will be seeing them live
on the list
sometime soon, no doubt about it. All right, moving on. We are coincidentally
super excited about our studio sponsor today.
We are in the AllTerra Central studio.
We are.
A little bit about AllTerra Central. They are the authorized premier Trimble dealer for survey mapping, GIS, forensics, and marine equipment in Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, and New Mexico. There might be a new state. We're going to find out. I don't know. They have 8 offices and provide sales, rentals, repairs, and support for the full line of Trimble products: GPS, GNSS receivers, robotic total stations, scanners, Seiko accessories, mobile mapping systems, used equipment and field supplies, including Juniper receivers and tablets, LaserTech True Pulse rangefinders, and microdrone UAVs.
That is a lot.
Damn, I'm getting good at that. They also offer field supplies that can be delivered right to your job site.
And Mr. Spears will do it.
Boom. I have experienced that and can confirm. All backed by a service department with one of the fastest turnarounds in the nation. That's impressive. To find out more, go to AllTerraCentral.com, or don't stop listening, because we are going to learn everything there is to learn about AllTerra Central over the course of the next hour.
Tons more coming. You kind of spilled a little bit, but a lot more new stuff, I'm sure.
For sure. All right. Next up, the Geomax Weekly Service Pro Tip. To find out more about Geomax, go to geomax-positioning.com. What do you have this week, Sean?
Oh, I like this one. Believe it or not, I always like all of them. I always like all of them, but this is a good one.
I picked this one just for you, by the way.
Okay. All right. Yep. All right. Here we go. Whatever you give out in life is what you receive back in life. Give positivity, you receive back positivity. Give negativity, you receive back negativity.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Anytime, you and I have these little spats via text or whatever, I'm just going to send you this quote.
Okay, go ahead.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where did that quote come from?
That was Rhonda Byrne, author of The Secret.
Have you read that?
I've no idea what that is.
Have either of you guys read The Secret?
No,
Are you familiar with it?
No.
All right. Moving on. Next up, we have the GeoSearch Career Corner. To find out more about GeoSearch, go to geosearch.com. GeoSearch, what did I do here? GeoSearch is actively recruiting for multiple LiDAR positions across various levels and specialties. Go for it.
All right. So they're looking for airborne LiDAR acquisition ops manager, a LiDAR program manager, a LiDAR calibration manager, a LiDAR quality engineer, and a LiDAR scanning tech.
And a senior geospatial analyst.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even see that one, too.
If you are passionate about geospatial technology, have experience with LiDAR data, or are looking to advance your career in this cutting-edge field, they, as in GeoSearch, want to hear from you. To find out more, simply go to geosearch.com. And as always,
happy mapping.
All right. Oh, man, we make such asses out of ourselves.
That's fun, though, right?
let's get our guests in here.
I know. It's about time.
Let's have them make asses out of themselves.
Speaking of making asses of themselves.
Yeah, love it.
All right. Our guests, of course, this week are presented by Airworks. Airworks, of course, is on a mission to provide the data intelligence that powers the built world. To find out more, go to airworks.io. Why are you shaking my head?
What's the icebreaker?
We haven't got there yet.
Oh, okay.
We're almost there.
All right.
Okay. So we have Scott Spears with us, and we have Kory Baxley.
That's right.
Did I say it correctly?
Yes, sir.
A little bit about these guys, and we're going to loop them in here and let them tell everything we want to know about them. Scott, born in Chicago.
Yes, sir.
That's how we became best friends.
It is.
Pretty much.
Kind of. Yeah. It was one of the connections when
it was one of the connections
moved out to Arizona.
Exactly.
You're like, hey, you're from Chicago?
You're from Chicago?
No way.
We're best friends.
Exactly.
Scott attended College of Lake County, home of the Fighting for $50.
Oh, Gophers.
Lancers, close enough.
Ooh, Lancers. That was
his current job is
I wouldn't have won $50 on that.
currently he is a regional sales manager, Arizona and New Mexico, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Correct, for AllTerra Central. And his passion is, this might be one of the best passions ever.
I love it. You said it earlier. It was great.
He is passionate about being a positive force on this planet.
Ties right into our quote.
Man,
right?
we could end the episode right now and
Really good.
This has been fun, guys. We'll see you.
Well said.
All right. And our new good friend, Kory, born in Pensacola, Florida. He attended the University of Florida. Go.
Gators.
Boom. Is there do you guys have a hand sign or something?
It's this weird chompy thing that most people hate.
Yep. He is VP of Sales at AllTerra Central, and his passion, of course, is his family and serving the survey and geospatial community. Scott and Kory, welcome to the Geoholics.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
Are you sure you're ready for this?
No,
Scott,
not
you've been
entirely.
on before. Scott has been on.
I have been on before. Last time I was hungover, so I think I was probably at my best.
Probably.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, this time I'm just drunk, so we'll try.
Oh, man. We're going to have a lot of fun here. I look forward to getting to know you guys and everything there is to know about AllTerra Central. But before we get there, we have to do the Trimble Geospatial Icebreaker. To find out more, go to geospatial.trimble.com. You know what? I think it's actually trimble.geospatial.com.
No, it's
I think it's geospatial.
Is it geospatial.trimble.com?
Yeah.
Okay, I do have it right. It's wrong for some reason.
And by the way, we should know this.
We should. Well, I cut and paste this every week, so I'm assuming it's got to be right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Trimble Geospatial, dedicated to big thinking innovation. Together with their worldwide distributor partners, the Trimble Geospatial team is working with current and future generations of surveyors for a more sustainable future. We love Trimble. We do.
We really do. We talk about the show.
So good.
A couple weeks. It's going to be awesome.
From day one. Yeah. All right. Here's the icebreaker for you guys. Scott, you can go first. If you could change instantly one thing about the world, what would it be and why?
Oh, mercy. Whew. I think I would like to change the way everyone's treating each other lately here. I think, we used to be able to be friends with everybody, and that seems to have faded the last couple of years. And I'd love to see that come back together where everyone can just reach across the aisle and work together.
Let's relate this to living in Chicago, right? Because I can tell you, and you probably concur.
This is going to be like a Cubs White Sox
when
thing.
I lived in Chicago, it's like, we lived like in a neighborhood, and it's like you knew your neighbors, right? Mm-hmm. And like that you knew that they would do anything for you. You knew that you would do anything for them. And it was just like such like a special community, right? I would love to get back to that.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I think that still exists.
Yeah, but and a lot of like everybody had that growing up.
Doesn't exist.
You guys think you're so freaking special by living in Chicago.
What?
I love my neighbors now, and they're down the street. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's different in the Midwest.
I'm sure it's Chicago. It's super special.
When you have nothing else to look forward to all year long.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Life hasn't beaten us down as much as it had been in Chicago in the 70s or whenever it was you grew up. But
so special in Chicago, you had to move to Phoenix.
Right?
Have you shoveled 2 feet of snow out of your neighbor's driveway?
Exactly. I would feel so beaten down. I would need the support of my neighbors if it was 2 feet of snow in my driveway every morning. I get it.
You're just trying to survive together.
But I'm with Kory. Like that's something that we experience all the time anyway.
Whatever.
You guys just think you're so freaking special.
We still think we're special. All right, Kory, same question. If you could change one thing about the world right now, what would it be?
The pace of time.
Ooh,
that's a new one.
Dude, and you're young. Wait till you get to my age. It's like months go by like weeks. It's ridiculous.
I got 2 little kids, man. Things go by
that changes
fast.
things.
Yeah. Same. Like,
and if everybody would slow down, focus on what's important.
Life moves fast. right?
Yeah, I like it.
Right on. Do you want to ask this question? We've probably answered it a handful of times.
Yeah, and I'll just regurgitate one of them literally here. But I want to take away the that people like eating or people shouldn't be hungry. Like food should just be a normal commodity that exists, and everyone agrees that you eat at the bare minimum.
Have you seen like there's like companies that are built around leftover food that gets thrown away?
Oh, I've seen that.
It's like billions of dollars worth of scrap food or something out of the grocery stores.
Yep.
They bundle it all up and they do something with it.
Yeah. I mean, why not repurpose it, right?
Right.
It should not go to waste.
You got one that you can spit out real quick?
You know what? I would say cure cancer.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
For sure. Yeah. We just had our good friend on a couple episodes ago, Claire, talking about her experience with her youngest daughter in childhood cancer. Amazing story. But
really glad I was not here for that one.
Cure cancer. Yeah.
The nonprofit I was telling you about earlier. That was because my dad died of cancer.
Oh, there you go. My dad did as well.
60.
Yes. 56, I think my dad was.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's near and dear to my heart for sure. Well, and you as well.
Yeah. I had cancer as a baby and I'm a survivor.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
Got the t-shirt. Well, the Alta shirt.
Yeah, whatever.
Same thing. All right, let's get going. AllTerra Central. First of all, thank you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are one of our main sponsors this year. And
yes,
we can't thank you enough. I mean, this has been a great partnership. And, we've enjoyed the last 12 months working with you guys and your team and, getting the opportunity to do some cross promotion and stuff like that. And this is kind of the culmination of that, having you guys on. We always love when we can do episodes with our sponsors or friends of the program, because those are the ones we take the most pride in, well, not the most pride, but we take a lot of pride in those. And
we also have the most fun.
We have the most fun, because it's a win-win episode, right? For sure. So we do appreciate your support and thank you guys again for being here.
We appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you for raising the awareness of what it is we all do. So thank you.
Awesome. I got a story for you later, by the way.
Okay.
Can't wait. Forget. Don't let me forget. I'm so freaking ADD. It just comes out. It's like
I know, buddy. I know.
Make sure you remind me.
There's a butterfly.
All right, let's talk about AllTerra Central. Tell us about the company, and you guys, whoever's best suited to answer this. Both you guys have an opportunity, whatever. But how did you guys start?
Yeah, we love origin stories.
And talk about how you guys got to where you are right now.
Okay. I wasn't there for the origin, but I think it was 2016. Bobby Hempfling and Mike Minnick took over Martin Instrument in Texas.
Oh, Martin. Okay.
Okay.
And then in 2018?
Yes.
2018, they merged with WDS.
There were two dealers down there in Texas.
Yeah.
So it originated in Texas.
That's right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. There were multiple dealers in the same region. And they merged together. I don't know exactly what the employee count was at the time. I know Martin was like 10 or 12 people at the time. And then in 2020, middle of 2020, I came aboard. I think I was employee 77. Oh, wow. Maybe somewhere around there. And now we're 130 plus.
Wow.
A big part of that was acquiring
acquisitions.
Arizona with Allen. That's how we got Scott. Thank God.
Yep.
And bought me in 2021.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Among other people.
Prize pick.
I just watched Django, so this is all coming together.
Yeah. He's hard to handle. And I've been with the company going on 5 years, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made.
That's awesome.
And there's new things on the horizon, and we're excited about it.
Are we going to talk about some of those new things or no? Or do we have to sign an NDA?
More of those NDAs.
Another NDA.
I think an NDA would be a minimum. Yeah.
All right. Before we let Scott go, how did you get started in this business?
My dad.
This is a good story because you've got a pretty strong survey background.
Are you going to let him tell it, or
keep going?
I could tell it because I read his bio.
Embellish it,
right?
My dad was a civil engineer.
Good for him.
In the Panhandle of Florida. And he called me one day. I already had a job. I was making pretty good money. Just graduated high school. He called me and said, "Hey, man, you want a real man's job?" I was like, "Oh, my gosh.
Here we go again."
And I was like, "All right, what do I got to do?" And he goes, "Well, you got to do what you're told, show up on time, and be able to swing a machete." I said, "Count me in. I'm in, man. I'm in." I took a pay cut. $1.25 an hour. And I showed up, I think they maybe hired me illegally. I was only 17. I think you had to be 18.
Huh.
And I don't know if that's true or not. But
we'll say it is.
I am confident you could work legally in Florida at 17.
You can do just about anything in Florida.
There was some kind of liability safety thing or something. But I started in 2004.
Okay.
Working in the piney woods and swamps of the panhandle of Florida. And I fell in love with it. I was originally scheduled to go to school for civil engineering, and I spent time with the surveyors, and I was like, these guys are way cooler.
No comment.
Yeah.
Also, no comment.
Yeah, but I love civil engineers. My sister is one. My dad was one. I know a lot of people, great people. But I really enjoyed being outside, and I like the guys, cutting loose a little bit. So I started doing that, and then 2008, 2009 hit. My dad worked at the same company. He's like, dude, I ain't got nothing for you. And he said, call this guy. And I ended up going to Texas for some pipeline construction jobs, and saw an opportunity there, and succeeded at that, and graduated 2009 from the University of Florida. Probably the best years you could be there. It's a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And moved to Mississippi for a year, pipelined over there, and then went to Texas and pipelined over there for a while. Traveled, lived in a travel trailer for a number of years. Had to buy a new one when I got engaged. And
fair,
but everything was cheap back then, and so I did that. I've traveled all over, and
that's cool.
Worked for Mott McDonald, had a lot of good mentors there, and 2020 rolled around. COVID was going on, and Bobby and Mike called me, and
how did you know those guys?
I was a customer of theirs.
Oh, customers again.
Yeah,
sure.
And Bobby always was real square with me, and treated me fairly, and I always had a lot of respect for him. He called me, and I hemmed and hawed about it for a month and a half or so, and then I flew on an airplane every other week during COVID. Building new relationships, and here I am.
Nice.
Wow, that's cool. Like the pipeline stuff, like during that 2008, 2009, like that stuff was still going strong.
Yeah,
at that point in time,
it was wild.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think we had at the peak. I think we had 227 crews.
Wow, that's
nationwide.
Unbelievable.
And at that point, you're just trying to keep people working, right? I mean, you're taking advantage of the availability, right?
Yeah. The way I kept people or recruited people was by working out the logistics and keeping them working, not just a one and done project.
Right.
Keeping them going and trying to make them get a livelihood out of it.
Yep.
Not just use them and drop them.
But those guys are making bank.
Oh, a
really
lot of
good
money. I did it myself.
Really good money.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of things I'm doing today without it.
Yeah, I get it. All right, Scott, follow that up, buddy.
Yeah.
Honestly, my life is not nearly as interesting.
You've been at AllTerra Central, or like you as in Alan, has been a part of AllTerra Central since when?
2014. So
2014?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I started surveying in 99 in Chicagoland area there, and
Yeah.
then I surveyed all the way up, same company, until 2014 when I moved out here. And,
Who were you with?
Yeah.
I worked for a company called Baxter and Woodman.
I remember that company.
Corey, we asked the questions around here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
My apologies.
Honestly, no fact checking there.
The guy's going to want to host before long.
I know, right? It's got that smooth voice. I know. I tell you, like, I don't know. Something's going on here.
He's working the microphone beautifully. I'm like, geez, look the way he's doing this. I feel like a chump.
He's a natural.
Here. Yeah, so
I am feeling the Arizona vibe.
There we go. This portion of the program is brought to you by Airworks.
So professional. Born at MIT, inspired by the advances in geospatial data collection and the potential power of AI, Airworks was founded by David Morzanek and Adam Kurzanowski in August of 2017. Those are two fun guys right there.
Some of our two favorite people. Man, their complementary backgrounds in aerospace engineering, drones, and construction led to a combined desire to harness technology to automate a traditionally time-consuming process.
Their mission is to provide the data intelligence that powers the built world so we can support the development and construction that needs to happen to support a rapidly changing world.
Yeah, as uncontrolled urbanization and climate change disasters continue to threaten humanity, increasing the speed at which we can analyze the world around us will become critical to building faster and with intention for all.
Join them as they empower companies and governments to build a more livable world. Needless to say, innovation is in their DNA. To find out more, visit airworks.io.
So 2014.
So you were a surveyor, though.
I was, yes.
At Baxter Woman, right?
I was, for the whole time. Basically, I started there part-time, and I was going to school at night. And then they asked me to start full-time. So I tried doing both full-time and going to school at night full-time. I fell asleep on the way home from school one night and hit a telephone pole and started surveying instead.
Like, here I am. It was like
that's a surveying story right there. That's how you get started in this business.
I think that happens a lot. Actually.
I get struck in the head by a telephone pole, and all of a sudden I want to be a surveyor.
The only thing that was left for me was
it really brought things into focus.
So, oh my gosh! So you were at Allen for how long?
We were Allen Instruments until they bought us in 2021.
2021. Okay.
So we were owned by Al of Allen Instruments before, and then he sold us to a local Caterpillar dealer for a while.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then they sold us to AllTerra.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, we're getting bought and sold all the time. So
but I can tell you, I've known Scott for a really long time, and when this happened, you all of a sudden became even happier person than you were before.
It's so much better.
Scott is already the happiest person I know, and all of a sudden he's even happier. How is that even possible?
Yeah, it was a game changer. The weight was off the shoulders almost immediately. Dealing with, he was talking about Bobby and Mike and those guys and the backgrounds they have and the way they approach everything. Like I could tell they care about the customers the same way I do. I cared about the customers because they're surveyors. I'm a surveyor. Of course I care about them. And they do too. And it just clicked and it's been great. Just on an upward trajectory ever since then. It's been awesome. Yeah.
And both you guys having a survey background, I think plays perfectly into the success that you've had.
Yeah. I would agree. It seems to be a common theme amongst the company, and it's a huge benefit to us, and it's a benefit to our clients, which is what it's all about.
Yeah. So what is the growth strategy? Can you talk about that a little bit? Are there do you look to acquire other smaller?
I mean, certainly you would love to, but it doesn't exactly work the way you want it to. You've got your own territories and other people have their territories and they do a great job there. I think from a growth standpoint, you either got to get more territory or you got to get more verticals, right?
Mm-hmm. Real quick, what do verticals look like for you guys?
So for Trimble, I guess to keep it, so there's a bunch of them, but like geospatial is one. And so that's like your typical surveying and mapping stuff, right? Yep. Then you have building construction. So they have we have Building Point Central. That's like a vertical construction. Yep. If you think about conduit layout, HVAC layout, that kind of stuff, anything that's going up or in floors above the foundation. We've got that. And then there's marine. And then you have machine control.
Yep. Forensics.
You got forensics. You got heavy civil construction. I'm sure there's some more.
We try to turn everybody into a surveyor. So
that's right.
As you should.
Exactly.
The world needs more of them.
So we the term reality capture gets thrown around a lot, right?
Yeah.
Digital twins and stuff like that. You guys are dabbling in that as well, right?
Yeah.
Or helping to support the technologies in those.
Yeah, I think Trimble's done a really good job these past 7 years, 6, 7 years, something like that. Everybody knows about Leica. And when I was at Mont McDonald, we bought a Leica scanner, and that was the cream of the crop at the time. But Trimble's come a long way with it, and you couldn't used to say that, but you can say that now. And with the X7 and the X9 scanner, and more importantly, I remember we started getting into laser scanning, and it was like a new domain. You had to have special people doing it, and it was complicated, and the software was even worse, right? Field side, you could get, if you could survey, you could do it. And then with Trimble,
then what are you guys supposed to do with it, right?
Right. Yeah. And you don't even have the computer built for it.
Yeah.
Or the data storage for it.
Yep.
And so the workflows that Trimble have brought into play with the auto registration in the field, that kind of stuff. I mean, it is simpler than ever. It is incredible. Even I could do it. Yeah.
I was going to say a caveman, but you're just as good.
Hey, you did go to Florida, so it's pretty close.
C's get degrees, man.
I love it. So what about the company culture? Talk about that just a little bit. I'd like to know more about that. The leadership style and, ultimately what kind of sets you guys apart from what other folks are doing.
I would actually equate it to what you just said. It's the leadership style. It's the fact that the guys who own this company, they did exactly what we do, where either they were in the field as registered land surveyors, which some are, or they were salespeople helping the surveyors. So it's all customer focused. It's all customer driven. It's making sure that our clients are never down when they're in the field, doing everything we can to help them. Like Sean said, bringing them the equipment, bringing them supplies, whatever they need to always keep them moving. That mentality has really trickled down throughout the entire company from what I can tell.
I mean, I can tell you my personal experience. I was super nervous about coming into a sales organization. I was on the operational side of, survey, moving crews around.
That was a big change
bidding jobs, all that. Yeah. I was super nervous about it. And I quickly realized that, as surveyors, I think everybody in the industry, one way or the other, they're problem solvers. They like to solve problems. I realized real quick, that's what we're doing. We're not just selling stuff. I was kind of worried about the kind of used car salesman vibe, right? I've never even sniffed at that.
I get that sometimes from Scott, but that's just,
That's just because I'm seated by name.
I think that's got nothing to do with the Chicago.
It's that Chicago.
Oh, yeah, that's
right.
Scott's a freaking pro. I gotta go back for my boy.
Oh, I know. No,
Appreciate you, brother.
Oh, I was when I reached out to Scott and I was like, dude, you're doing this with me, right? And he's like, oh, I thought you were going to do it. I was like, come on, man. And I was so glad that he was going to be here. I love Scott. But yeah, I quickly realized that we're just problem solvers. We're helping people solve problems. That's what we love to do. And so, and I think Bobby and Mike and Dan have been doing that since day one. And I think that permeates through the organization.
Yeah. Are the types of problems changing? Because technology is advancing at such a rapid rate. The problems that existed 5-10 years ago there's still some of the same problems, but the problems now are also really different.
Yeah, actually, I think we're in like a weird in-between right now where you well, let's face it, we have an older generation that's at the top and maybe in the last 10-ish years of their career. And then you've got this extreme younger generation coming in, very tech heavy, maybe has or hasn't worked in the field, right? And then you got people in the in-between. Probably like Scott and I. Sure. Maybe you guys too. I don't know. That we're right in the middle. Yeah. And I've started to realize this past couple of years that we actually can bridge that gap. Right. So I took over website and marketing this year.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you know what you're getting into there?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It sounded like a good idea.
Oh, I'm sure it did. I could totally do that. And then,
yeah, sounds fun. There's a lot of acronyms. But that has also opened my eyes a little bit about this kind of in-between space. And like we are entering a new era. So the problems, the challenges are changing. I forget what the question was actually. But,
no, keep going. You're good.
Yeah,
well, you're onto something.
But I think what I really want to talk about and piggyback off that is, you guys were talking about scanning, and that's really the bridge here is the older guys need to embrace some of the new technology, and the younger guys need to know how to traditionally survey, and you need to bridge that gap. But what can you talk about how that transition is going right now, and where do you think it's going?
It's definitely picking up steam. I think some of the products that have come out too, like the SX12, where it's like basically a robotic total station, but also a scanner. So it uses common.
Did you just buy one of those?
Yeah.
I think you did.
Believe it or not, great story. The Geoholics.
Wait. Is this a good time?
Oh, this is a great time.
Is it the perfect segue?
Oh, yes.
Could I have done any better?
Is this a self-reflection about how awesome you are?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's good to take those moments. Good for you.
Well, the Geoholics have a marketplace, and we like to showcase our friends of the programs and their offers and their things. And we were kicking around the office, and we had a couple bridge scanning deals come up, and our guys are a little more traditional, and they had the whole plan out doing total station. And we're like, it really could be a scanning job. That's a big jump for somebody like us. And I was like, you know what? Let me just check out. Let me go to the Geoholics and then just click on the marketplace and then hit the nice little link for the used equipment right there from AllTerra Central. And sure enough, there is a nicely priced SX10 that we scooped up within 3 days. And man, and I can tell you, like, the feedback I've gotten is, this is awesome. Sorry, I doubted you for the last 4 years, and we can do so much more with this.
Yeah.
Great tool.
That's awesome.
Well, and
that's what she said. Where did that even? Who said that? Is that you?
I think it was Scott.
Kory was making a really good point there before you did that. Thank you.
Oh my word!
What were you saying, Kory?
I don't remember.
Well, I mean, to that point,
no, we were talking about like
bridging that gap, and what do you see on getting the general layout of, hey, there's some great options here in scanning, and you can deliver much better of a product to your clients. How do you get that training or communication out to the masses there?
Well, from the start, I mean, you kind of nailed it. I mean, getting that robotic total station with scanning to get people's eyes to open up, right? But then also showing them how easy it is on the software side.
And I think that's what it really was
right.
Like, oh man, I can deal with this.
Right. Anybody can, well, not anybody, but
you just pull it in right into TVC, right?
Yeah, right. That's right. But you can go set up in the field on a control point, backside this, scan whatever you want. That's easy, right?
Sure.
Everybody knows how to do that.
That's why I tell people, if they're looking at that scanner, if you know how to run the robot, we can have you be an expert in scanning in about 5 minutes.
Or just a total station in general.
It's just that easy.
And that's like amazing, like entry level kind of scanner scenario. Right?
Yeah, it's a perfect way to dip your toe.
Perfect way.
But I think the software is the key.
Okay, yeah, talk a little bit about that.
Well, because I mean, I mentioned it earlier. I mean, I'm not going to say which manufacturer or anything, but the software was brutal. It was brutal. I had 2 guys. I had to go to training for a week, and they're like, they came back and said, you guys ready to roll? They said, we'll do the best we can. I was like, what do you mean you did it? But we just spent like thousands of dollars to train you guys. And we'll do the best we can. And now Trimble, if you look at the product bulletins that come out, it's like every other one's got something with TVC and scanning. You know, they're heavily investing in that and making it easier for us to move that data around and get what we need out of it.
Yep.
And so I think that is what's really pushing into the future, is making all that data accessible and usable and getting deliverables out of it, not just a big pile of points.
Yeah.
Agreed. Now, do you guys have something like a cloud-based solution to where like all these large files are being stored? What does that look like for you guys?
So the reality capture one, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, reality capture platform service.
And like when you see us pause, it's because, like you said, acronyms and things like that. And there seems to be a new offering all the time.
A new memo that says, memorize this for your...
Yeah, but this one seemed easy. It was like $200 a month for 2 terabytes of data unlimited.
Oh, wow.
There's some crap like that. It was like something simple like that where it's like, okay.
Yeah.
At least it's one location where you can have huge files and share it with everybody to make it more simplistic.
Yeah, I think they literally released it today or yesterday to the public.
We are on the cutting edge.
Exactly.
Would you already bought it?
No, I just heard about it. Like, I got to ask them about this.
Yeah, I think it's like $200 a month. You get, I forget, is it 2 terabytes?
2 terabytes.
Yeah. And it's
pretty amazing.
It's basically I'm pretty excited about it because I think the industry has been asking for something like this for a long time.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know I have. And it's, kind of file format agnostic. It's usability agnostic, right? So like, if you're working on a big project, I think you mentioned some big projects you got in the works over there.
We're a Trimble shop, by the way.
That's fantastic, as you should be.
All the good ones are.
Same.
But it's all the stakeholders can figure it out, right? So if you need to look at certain file types, it's basically just a warehouse. It's easily searchable. There's a webinar out there on Trimble's website you should go check out. $200 a month. I'm not sure you could beat it. Not to be too salesy.
Yeah. I can't argue with it.
Right.
Nor am I going to.
There's also something else I think is I've been preaching and have been asking for a long time. But is Trimble Connect? Are you familiar with it?
Oh yeah, we actually heard a lot lot that at Energeo.
We did. Yep.
Yeah. So it used to be Trimble Connected Community. I don't know if you guys ever used that.
It was Sync Manager, TCC.
You know what I think? Like you guys have those platforms that are freaking amazing. Maybe you can tell me. I don't think most people even, not necessarily they're not aware of them. They don't use them.
Yeah.
And they don't take advantage of the potential that's
absolutely
there.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. I just talked to somebody yesterday about this, about putting QR codes, a little card in every single box we have. Just says, hey, did you realize that you
That's
have
a
access?
great idea.
If you have a Trimble Access license that's under warranty, you have access to Trimble Connect.
Yep.
So you have a Trimble Connect business license, and you can sling data from the office to the field, from the field to the office. You need them to have a new feature code library, you can give it to them.
Yep.
You need their data at 4:39 p.m., not in an email at 6:50 at night or whatever coming from the hotel Wi-Fi.
Yep.
So it's awesome. You can do that. How do you guys deal with the lack of awareness, and how do you get it out there to the people that are using it, have that license and don't even know that it exists?
It's one of the harder things to do. Actually, Ken, you used to work for a company where I had to go to their office and sit down with the owner of the company and set it up, and then get all his crews set up to be able to use it. And then I followed up probably 2 years later.
That's right.
When you
remember that.
And you guys are like, we couldn't work without it.
Yeah.
But but they're one of like 3 companies that I've done that with, because nobody ever wants to take the time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So raising the awareness is the hardest part. It's
actually not that easy or not that hard to set up. It's pretty easy.
People are intimidated by it though.
Yeah,
and they think it's going to be difficult.
And that's a good thing. And talk a little bit about that. How do you get over that intimidation hurdle?
Honestly, I think it starts in the field, not the office.
Okay.
If you can get the party chiefs, crew chiefs to adopt it and say, oh, I don't have to do a thumb drive. I don't have to do an email. I can just hit a sync button and they got everything they need, and I can walk away and
go home and see my family and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, or drink a beer at Texas Roadhouse, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like that.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Are you waiting on me? I'm taking notes over here real quick.
Yeah, I know. You seem like you had something there.
He was really hammering on something. I'm like,
I know.
Is that about me? It's about me, isn't it?
Yeah, really. Okay, so one of the notes we have here is partnerships and collaborations. You guys obviously work with a lot of different people. What are some of the ones that come to mind that really stand out to you in this busy season?
Well, you guys work with like a lot of government agencies, right?
We do. I was actually leaning towards one of those. I wasn't sure how much I'm really supposed to say, which sometimes gets tricky.
Talk about
if corporate tells you to clip it out, we can clip it out later. It's okay.
Well, like one of the things that's affecting the local guys here is, we're working on getting all the base stations replaced here.
All the core stations.
All the core stations across Arizona.
That's huge.
It's been a huge problem since I moved out here, right?
Yes.
So I think we've 7 or 8 this year or something like that. Brian Fisher and Brian Conway are the ones doing all the work.
Brian Fisher, awesome dude.
Both,
yes.
Awesome. He's very intelligent.
Geoholic.
Oh yeah, he is.
Geoholic.
Yep. We're probably going to see him in Vegas. I'm sure
we'll see him there.
Yeah. Both of them are great guys and super easy to work with. But we've just been doing our small part and trying to help them, with whatever we can. So they've been replacing all the aging systems with alloys, and it's improving everybody's.
What I'm seeing is lives. Adding Brian Conway to the mix has made a huge difference.
Such a go-getter.
Yeah.
Brian just gets it done.
Yes. That's really exciting. Really exciting.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
I think the DOTs as well. There's been a lot of money over the past few years funneling down through state governments, a lot of infrastructure projects, transportation, among other things. So I think without going into too much detail, but, partnering with them and coming up with some custom solutions for them has been very beneficial for both parties.
You're going to have to give us a little peek under the curtain there. Some custom solutions, like what are some of the benefits that you can add on those?
So let's call it, let me think about it for a minute. Being able to come up with a rotation of equipment for them. So they can keep
like a workflow type thing?
Make sure they have the latest and greatest at all times and rotating it out so they don't grow stagnant. And
so it's almost like buying an iPhone.
Yeah.
Right. Like 2 years later, a year later, the new iPhone comes out.
Right.
But if you could get on a program where you just automatically get the new update or whatever, that'd be amazing, right?
Yeah. And we have that.
And then everyone's on the same one, and then you're jiving, right?
Yeah. We all have regular text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That just happened, by the way.
What did?
Big news. And big. If you download the latest iPhone update, we can text message like normal people again.
Yeah, they're still green.
Are you still going to be green?
They're still green.
But
are you still be Kermit the Frog?
But I've got enhanced capabilities now.
Whatever. So you want my DNA, is what you're saying?
Pretty much. Yes, because the one thing I want to do in life is to recreate you.
Oh, you can only be so lucky. So, what All right, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity here.
Softball coming?
Talk about the competition. Don't talk about the competition, but there's a lot of competition in this arena, right?
I don't think so.
No. You're going to have a great
Then
answer.
you're going to love this. Yeah.
So like, talk about it. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity. What separates you guys from everybody else?
Honestly,
besides
if we're talking about
you
just
being Scott.
Yeah, if we're talking about just us at AllTerra, it's going to be our people and our approach. But the products we sell is mostly the Trimble product line, to be honest with you. And I think the suite of things that they can offer all within the same ecosystem is not something anybody else can do. So I think as we're moving forward here with all these little mom and pop options that pop up here and they're here for a year or two and drift away, like I don't even consider those people competition. That's not competition.
Scott, let me stop you there because I'm so glad you brought that up because, Sean and I attend a lot of conferences and talk to a lot of different people and a lot of different manufacturers and stuff like that. And there are a lot of low budget,
of course,
or not a lot, more and more low budget.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a lot, but there are.
Coming out.
I think coming out of COVID, people are like, I'm going to break off on my own. I'm going to do my own thing. Yeah. Let me figure this thing out.
They're like, everybody gets the same freaking chips from everybody else. So why don't I build my own?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and there's also different applications and there's different people with different needs that don't need certain things. But, and I think that's why there's a use case there. But
I think
I think at the end of the day, if mom and pop's a good example, right? If you think you're always going to be a mom and pop, that might be fine. Right. But if your intentions are to grow, right. Which who doesn't, right. You don't start a business and go, I want to stay exactly the same way forever. I'm sure there's a few, and that's great. But I think if your intentions are to grow and the sky's the limit, I wouldn't limit yourself. And I think, Trimble by itself does a great job of bringing the whole picture together. Right. And that may not be for everybody on day one. But one thing I will say is, I think we were talking about differentiators a minute ago, like with AllTerra, like we recognize that. And I manage several departments and they're focused on providing those solutions, like the used equipment that we have. We have lease options, right? So like if you want the latest and greatest, but you can't afford it up front, you can't just cut a check for $1 bazillion. Right. We have a lease option for you. And
around the holidays, that gets very enticing.
Right. Yeah. We also have,
I'm just saying, like, I always get the message from Scott, like, hey, by the way, 0% for the next year. Just get it in there. Like that's,
he's dangling the cat.
I know. He's good at what he does. Like, what can I say?
Dude, but
Scott's a freaking pro, man.
I know.
He has gotten so good at what he does. Stupid.
I got a question for you guys. Because we also
how much did I pay him? Is that
no. How many? We also have a rental program.
Okay.
And I think I can't prove it, but I think we have the largest rental fleet in the country, if not the world.
Wow.
Yeah. How many receivers do you think we got on rent, or how many receivers do you think we got in the fleet?
All I hear is only a couple because all the rest of them are ready to get bought.
200.
No.
What is it?
500 plus.
Really?
Yeah.
And
so are a lot more people going that route?
That's why I say there's no competition. Nobody else has a rental fleet backing them up like that. They don't have the tech
like you
support
guys have the
them
resources.
like
you guys have the horsepower to back up all this stuff.
It's a whole solution.
Yeah.
It's not just that product sitting on top of the rod.
That's
of course you could probably buy whatever's sitting on top of that rod for a little less somewhere else.
Yeah.
You can say that about anywhere you find that.
Sure.
That doesn't mean it's worth that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There are barriers to entry, right? Like it's hard. If you're just starting out and you've got X amount of a loan, you got to be wise with that money. We're trying to make options for those people.
That's a really good point.
Which is why we have those used options that Sean was talking about.
That's right.
So much growth happening right now amongst the four of us.
I know,
I'm feeling really good about this.
We're doing this tomorrow too. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
We sure can.
We can make it.
We'll make it a raver. Let's go all night.
I have to wake up at 3 a.m. so I can do it.
Just keep it going.
I keep telling Sean I want to do a 3-hour podcast. Is tonight the night?
No, it is not tonight.
How much mezcal do we have?
We have a lot, but it's not enough. Let's talk about a couple more things where we got to go. Let's talk about challenges.
Go. Where are you going? We got some time, buddy.
Let's talk about challenges. Like, what are some of the cloudy weather coming that you see? What's preventing you guys from taking over the world? what is it? Competition? Is it?
A lot of times it's the same challenge as you have because we grow with you guys. So
that's right.
As the surveyors are busy, we're busy. Yeah. So if you're having a hard time hiring people and you can't add that crew you need, well, we're having a hard time selling you that gear because you don't have the people to use it.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're hand in hand. We're in this thing together.
Yeah.
So
so what are you doing about it, Scott?
I'm doing everything we can. Actually, we're trying to do everything we can to raise the awareness, just like you guys are. Like next weekend I'm going to be in Tombstone scanning that. What are we doing down there? Do you remember what that is?
So like
we're scanning a historic courthouse with the Young Surveyors Network.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just trying to
Will Wing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I don't think a lot of people know about that. Can you talk about it?
Him? Me? Who?
Either one of you. I mean, it sounds like a cool thing to talk about.
I'll let Ken run with it because I don't know.
It's not like we're on a fucking podcast here talking about cool shit.
Nobody wants to hear about what are you talking about, Sean? Nobody wants to hear about this shit.
Yeah, I'm going to totally wing this because I don't know the first thing about it.
That's okay.
But my understanding is
for making shit up, that's my
Arizona Young Surveyors Network is going to be scanning the courthouse at Tombstone, Arizona.
That's a really cool thing to talk about, a geospatial conference.
It might be the fifth time they've scanned it. I don't know, but
doesn't matter.
Do it again.
It's not. They went down, and I think they were down there once before doing like the
boundary
or something like that. And now we're going to go back and they want to scan it. So they asked if we can grab it next night, and I said sure. So my wife and I are going to go down there next Saturday and scan it with the Young Surveyors Network.
That sounds like a pretty awesome.
So when you ask me what I'm doing stuff.
That's
it sounds like Scott is taking an initiative, doing something with the Young Surveyors Network, and grabbing some equipment off the shelf that's apparently readily available for rent or purchase, and showing it off a little bit.
Why not take full advantage of that?
What better way?
Makes a lot of sense.
Plus, I get to use the equipment as a surveyor. Like, isn't that the best part?
That's the best part.
Exactly. I get to take the toys out and play with them and show off in front of the wife, make her think I'm smart.
All right, Kory. Well, now I'm sorry you're getting called out. What are you doing?
The hell have you done lately?
Yeah, right. He's always wanted to say that, by the way.
Trying to wrangle in people like Scott.
I love it.
Going back to the challenges, kind of piggybacking off of that, obviously economics.
Oh,
right?
sure. Yeah.
You're struggling the same way we're struggling. Mm-hmm. Trends are trends.
And it is good equipment, and it might be expensive.
It is, can be.
You get what you pay for.
That's
you
right.
Yep,
exactly.
sure.
Pay up front or pay in the end.
1,000%.
Going back to the advocacy part of it, I think there was a period of time I was like thinking about getting out, I think I'm going to get out of this survey stuff. Mm-hmm. I think it's a dead end. And that quickly turned around.
I did the same thing at one point.
Oh, really? Yep. Yeah. I was kind of seeing like, man, I don't know if I can work like this forever, man. And then I'm seeing here past few years, all the associations, you guys, what y'all are doing, all the associations, all the state boards, all the everybody. Yep. I mean, it's like a full court press is moving the ball down the court. Mm-hmm. And I was at TSP. You weren't there, were you?
I was not.
I was at TSPS.
Oh yeah, I heard they had a great conference.
Like, just looking around, and I was like, okay, yeah.
We're going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
Right?
Yep.
Because you're seeing a younger generation come up.
Yeah.
It's making a huge difference.
Yeah. And I think the one of the things that struck me is we had a guy, Kevin Martinez, love him. One of my favorite people. Trimble's come out with like a video game. Have you seen this thing?
No.
I work for a distributor.
It's like is it freaking cool?
Yeah, it's like a demo box. You get to like walk around with the little guy. You set the stuff up.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, dude. You literally have an Xbox
I've been talking about doing something like that forever. This is amazing.
Oh, dude. I saw it and I was like, the day of, I was like, what is this?
No way.
Oh yeah. And he has an Xbox controller. And I was like, what is he? It's kind of like a demo in a video game.
That's freaking
And
awesome.
you literally walk around this little town as first person, and you set up the instrument. You've got to plumb it. Like it shows you the optical plummet. You got to center it up. You're using the controller to center it up. So think about it. Used to learn, right? You had to learn the hard way, right? You had to go out in the field, get out in the heat, a bunch of guys yelling at you, telling you what to do. Yep. We all know the stories.
Yep.
Now, if you try to do that to somebody, what are you going to do? I ain't doing this.
They're like, I'm done.
Yep. I'll get a...
Yeah.
Well, plus, on a rainy day, what better way to entertain the kids?
Yeah, but now you can train kids in high school, right? They already know how to do it. They can probably set it up better than you can. And that blew my mind. And
I am so excited about this. I had not heard about it until just right now. So
I don't even know what it's called.
I actually don't know what it's called either. I've seen Westy using it for like the last year, and I'm like, "What are you? Oh, you're in that game again, dude."
Is that all he does?
Is it gone public yet? Is it gone public? This game, this application that you're talking about?
I think so. I mean, Kevin was doing it live.
I think it is.
It sounds like a Get Kids in a Survey
When
thing.
this happens,
I think it's free.
I
don't think it costs any money or nothing.
I'm so excited about this. Amazing. What a great idea, you guys.
Yeah, it was really good.
Well, now I'll get you the details on that tomorrow. That doesn't help your listeners right now.
Yeah. Scott's fucking pro. This guy. He's a pro.
Of course.
He's amazing. I'll get that to you tomorrow.
Let's put a pin in it.
Hey there, Geoholics. Let's talk about Bad Elf, one of our favorite friends of the program. Bad Elf's line of GNSS receivers empower GIS and survey professionals to collect high-accuracy field data using any phone, tablet, or laptop. Their products work with any location-based app running on iOS, Android, and Windows. All Bad Elf's Bluetooth receivers have integrated LCD screens and intuitive user interface to provide status information and perform standalone data collection when needed. Their flagship Bad Elf Flex GNSS receiver is the first survey-grade receiver to support a flexible, pay only when the accuracy you need daily token model that minimizes upfront costs and eliminates monthly subscriptions. Now your team can collect higher accuracy data when needed while staying within your budget. Over the years, they started working with more GIS and survey customers. Their feedback and requirements have driven their team to build the most powerful GNSS receivers that are also affordable, accurate, and intuitive. It is clearly engineering magic. To find out more, visit badelf.com.
So you guys, okay, so we've talked about survey a lot, but there's other applications that you guys delve into. It's like GIS stuff, right? We talked about reality capture a little bit. You've got this like apparatus for mapping rails and stuff like that. I mean, you guys are into so many different things. I'm expanding.
Oh yeah, we saw that on the Intergeo, right?
Yeah.
And
now I'm renting one.
You're renting one.
You were able to get a hold of one?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
For real?
Yeah, what is it? A Gito?
Gito?
Yeah, Gito. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's genius, is what it is.
Yeah, the mobile mapping stuff is incredible.
Yeah,
we've got a couple people dedicated to it, and I'm not going to pretend to know everything about it. I mean, but you got 2 Regal scanners shooting a bazillion points per second or whatever the heck it is, and basically a military grade IMU. You can drive through tunnels without GNSS connect. I mean, it's
crazy.
I've driven the truck. They were like, "Hey, you got to drive the truck today." I was like, "Oh," and then
that's cool.
You have to brake check it to get that IMU.
When you wake up the IMU, you got to drive like a drunken sailor.
He was like, hit the brakes, man.
Really?
And I just kind of
no kidding. He's
like, no, hit the brakes.
And the more you beat on the car, the more your accuracies keep coming down until all of a sudden you're right in the sweet spot. Then you drive normal.
Yeah, so interesting. I was not aware.
It's
That's
really
pretty cool.
So what are you guys doing with all that mobile mapping stuff?
Primarily for transportation. So we're focusing on transportation customers. You know, people who do a lot of DOT work.
Doing a big push into mining right now.
Yeah, mining's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yep. Rail, obviously.
Yep. Big push into rail.
Yep. Man, I've seen it. We have a data set. I think it was either Billy Ray Music or Dan Riccardi. Maybe both of them.
Could have been Billy Ray Cyrus.
Listen,
FYI.
I call him Billy Ray Badass. That's what I call him. But
of course you do.
Yeah, I love him. Coolest guy you ever met. I liked him since day one. Saw him yesterday. What's up, Billy? But they mounted this thing to a side by side, and
why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
And you mount it to a boat, drive under bridges and stuff. Sure. Anyways, so they're driving on a side by side in row crop field, just bouncing up and down in the field, and I was like. He showed me the data. I said, Billy, I said, how long did it take you to clean that up? Because I thought the data would be all, ghosted and messed up. And he goes, no, that's the raw data. And I was like, well, you haven't cleaned that up yet? And he goes, no, that's the raw data. And I was like, and you drove through that row crop field? And he's like, yeah. So that's how good that IMU is. Because you're literally
unbelievable.
Just bouncing up and down. Yeah, I was impressed. That's about as much as I know about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Super cool. And you talked about the hydro bit a little bit. You want to expand on that just a little bit? Your capabilities there and with the hardware?
Well,
slap the thing on a boat and let it go around. You get the same shit.
Sensor. Yeah, you can do the same thing. Wake it up. You can mount it on boats, on trains.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
So you could drive if you're waterborne. You could drive under the bridge, right? And then circle back and drive across, if you're doing like a intercoastal canal or anything like that.
Yep.
Any hydraulic survey that could be, I mean, I'm thinking back to some of the hydraulic surveys that I was on where, you're going 1,500 feet up and downstream of the bridge or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
If it was a big enough river, you could just drive it and capture all that at once.
Yeah.
We actually rent a bunch of echo sounders.
Oh, yeah.
Relatively cheap too. Relatively cheap.
Yeah.
So you can just slap that on a John boat or whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Have you guys heard about this green LiDAR? Have you heard of this? For like getting the depths of water, it's unbelievable what's coming out. It's incredible. Really? Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So I'm gonna focus on Scott here just a little bit because he's from Chicago. And I guarantee you that Scott and I have probably done the same type of hydrographic surveys in Chicago, where you're in a creek and you're in waders and you're shooting the creek, walking across it in waders.
What's a creek?
If you could. I mean, some of those ones you get stuck in the silt and you just sink all the way down and you have to crawl out.
In Florida, we do those in jean shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be jorts.
Well, waders. What are you doing, waders?
I was doing a interesting story real quick. I was doing a hydraulic survey in central Illinois, and I'm about 1,500 feet up from the stream there and doing my cross section. I look down and there's a human femur laying right there. And I'm like, well, this has ruined my day.
Wow,
because it was
that's incredible.
just after lunchtime, which meant it was 11:05, and
right.
And I was like, well, I tied some flagging above it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Rosati's first. And the thing's been laying there a little while. Like it was just a bone.
Awesome.
So
great Rosati's plug.
Exactly.
Free plug. Don't get used to it.
You're welcome, Rosati's. Send me a pizza.
I saw an ad yesterday that Houston, close to my house, just got a Portillo's.
Portillo's.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
You got to go.
You roll the L's in Houston.
Yeah.
Portillo's.
Yeah, not in this case.
That is hilarious.
Is it good?
I can tell you that, my opinion anyways, they got bought out a number of years ago by like $1 billion. Before they got bought out, I thought they were freaking amazing. But since they got bought out, I think the quality has gone down just a little bit.
I would concur. It's still good. Like if I want a taste of home, okay.
What's the specialty? What is the?
You got to be. It's Chicago dog shit.
Italian beef.
For the Italian beef. Italian beef with the hot jar and there.
I'm from North Carolina. Like I prefer. I grew up in outside of Greensboro. I went to North Carolina State.
I love.
They have a good hot dog there. That's not what this is.
I learned about
it's not even close,
Carolina style
actually.
burgers.
Oh yeah. Mustard chili slaw. Yeah. Not what this is, but still okay.
Yeah, I grew up going to North Carolina camping every year.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's why I like you.
Highlands area.
He sounds like you. That's why you like him. Scott sounds like me.
Yeah, these guys have great podcast voice.
Scott and I are like,
dude, I'm
screw
good.
You guys.
We're both giving off strong Kermit the Frog vibes. I got to be honest. I'm like, you guys have this deep, sexy.
Hey, we got the noses.
Exactly. You got the noses, the voices.
I think both of you sound great.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, we do that. We do the best we can.
All right. Speaking of rails, let's get this back on the rails.
All right.
We got a couple of the good questions here, and I know you guys can't forecast, and I know you don't have a little silver box, but where do you see this going in the next 5 years? Are all the old guys gonna start scanning? Where is that going? Is it only point clouds, or is it what's gonna happen?
I would like to expand on something like you were talking about earlier. We're in a transitional time right now,
right?
And I think you nailed it. I totally agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah, I think it's going to point clouds for sure. I think it would be, in my opinion, the old guys are going to have to, just like when GPS came out, right? I mean, it was 99 before we bought our first GPS unit. It was just, a lot of people took a little time to embrace it. And I think the point clouds is going to fall right into play, probably along the mobile mapping route, because there's not enough people on the ground, right?
I don't disagree, but I think it's like a multi-data source integration. I just made that.
Write that down. Write that down.
Hold on 1 second.
I just made that up.
I am going to.
I want that on the back of my business card.
Yeah, I think I'm getting a tattoo.
What was that?
Trademarked. Baxley Incorporated.
Multi-data source integration.
Marked.
Multi-data source integration.
I like it.
Is what I said.
I like it.
Yeah, I think. Look, you're never going to change boots on the ground, right? You can fly it. You can drive it. You can use all this data, and I think it's great. I think you should.
I'm going to pose one argument. Did you see Elon Musk's new robot?
I have not. I heard it.
You might
I heard
rethink
about
what
it.
you just said.
I think they said it's scary.
It's pretty freaking amazing.
He didn't say human boots on the ground. He just said boots on the ground.
True.
It could be a robot boots on the ground.
Could be.
All the same.
Like a lot of times, I think about things in terms of like utility corridors because that's just kind of like where everything's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's natural gas or power distribution or transmission or whatever, and people see these wide open corridors, right? They think, oh, just fly it. It's gonna be fine. We got LiDAR, right? Or we could drive it now, mobile mapping, put it on a UAV. But what about the boundary, right?
Yeah.
Like you're never. I just don't see how you're ever going to take the surveyor's mind out of the equation, and I think that's the most beautiful thing about the art of surveying. That's why they call it an art, right? It's art, it's history, it's science, it's mathematics, it's everything, right?
Yep.
And I think you'll never take that out of the equation. You can come up with the best technology in the whole world, but you're never going to take that definitive surveyor's mind out of the equation.
Yep.
And so while I agree that
this is way better.
while I agree, you're going to have all these data sources, point clouds, the whole 9 yards, right? Use all that stuff. You should. Like leave no stone unturned, right?
Yep.
You're going to have somebody with intelligence flipping those stones over, looking for boundary evidence, looking for history that dates back to as long as you can remember, right? And I just don't think you take that out of the equation. So I think I think the software is where it's at. Taking all of those data sources and making something meaningful out of it is where the future is.
Yeah.
That's my
Agreed.
How are you going to follow that up, Scott?
I'm not. I got an idea.
Hey, there he is.
Slow clap.
There he is.
Kory, mic drop moment.
Right. Well, and I mean, to be honest, it's an easy crowd. Like, I think Kent teared up a little bit on that one.
I was getting emotional. I'm feeling all charged up. My inner surveyor's beating.
I don't know if I can go on.
So, but the question was, and back to Scott, I'll give you this one. Where do you think it's going in 10 years? Okay, you still need the guys to really hit the corners.
Well, it's going to be a multi-fact sensor.
Can I ask one question?
Clips. Yes.
I meant to bring it up earlier. What about like VR and AR? Is that still like a big thing right now?
Are we going to see the guy at the Trimble show
with the
moving the machine
where
from
all the utilities are as you're walking through the sites?
I feel like there's a little more emphasis on the AR as of late. I don't know if you kind of are seeing the same. But
yeah, I mean, everyone wants the iPad that they can look in the ground and actually see. I mean, we've all seen the picture, but actually rely on that and actually be something they can use in the field. Everyone's seen that, but we want to actually use it.
Yeah, it feels similar to like when scanning, like we talked about 10 years ago, where it's like, wow, this could be really cool. How can I use this to make money? And I think a lot of people are kind of hung up at that stage.
Yeah, if you look at like Trimble Sight Vision,
that's what I was thinking.
It's incredible, right?
It's incredible.
You look at it and you go, oh, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And then, how do you apply it?
Yeah.
Right. And I think
we're not there quite yet.
Yeah, there's a disconnect.
You know what I mean?
The disconnect, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The disconnect is what do you have to make that a viable solution in the field? You have to have a 3D model, right? Everything has to be modeled in 3D for the most part.
Yep.
You don't always have that. I mean, what? 10%, 20% of the time, maybe you have that.
But that's improving as well.
It is.
Yeah.
And so until that catches up and that becomes the norm and that becomes the standard, I think it's going to be difficult to deploy that.
Yeah.
I almost pleaded the fifth on this because I got my own opinions on it. But
for sure.
Until that catches up, I just don't see it. And whoever does it, like as a services company,
like a value add.
Yeah. Right. And there's companies out there trying to do it right now.
Yeah.
And we're helping them as best we can. But until somebody really pulls it together and figures it out, maybe 10 years though. 10 years for sure.
Yeah.
10 years for sure. I like that.
We feel like you guys are more innovative with those things than we are. A lot of times we know how to use the technology. Like, we get our hands on it ahead of time. We get to play with it, spend time with it. Yeah. And then, Sean will call me up. Hey, I want to do this with it. Can you,
that's a great point.
Can it
Scott.
do that? And it's like, yeah, I think it can do that. why don't I come over? Let's try it out.
Yep.
And a lot of times that's kind of how it goes. Like
Yes.
I might be trying it out for the first time with him and it was his idea and we do it together.
Yep.
Like, yep, it works. Here you go, buddy. And he runs with it. So you guys are the innovators. We just know how to use the technology and we just try to assist our clients with that.
Yeah, because your clients' needs are changing all the time.
All the time. And we don't know what that is.
I mean, you don't know. How can you keep up with it? You know, so it's like they bring it to you. You're like, okay, that's cool. Here's my solution for that.
Exactly.
My potential solution for that.
Exactly.
So let's give it a shot.
But like these guys are saying, I think that, and we talk about this a lot, and maybe there needs to be a third component. There's a hardware and a software, and then there's like does the customer know how to use this or not? And that's the third component.
Yeah.
And the hardware and the software is there for terrestrial scanning and whatever you need to do. It's, can they use it and can they use it quick? And is the learning curve so small that we can actually deliver something to our client?
Yeah.
Because I love it when a client comes and says, hey, I want to do this. And I'm like, man, I talked to a guy. We could totally do that. By the time he needs it, I can't get you guys to give it to me and those guys to figure it out. And those guys, I mean, it already needs to be there. And that's that. Feels like that's that third component of.
I think that we talked about earlier, that Trimble Reality Capture Platform Service.
Yeah. Ooh, TRRCPV. Right?
That might be a step in the right direction, because I was talking to a guy 2 days ago, and he had brought up a problem. And he said, I got a customer. They're wanting to do X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, it just came out. I don't know a whole lot about it. You'll probably know about as much about it as I do in the next 15 minutes. Trimble Reality, and I told him, he pulled it up on the internet and he goes, yeah, man, I think this is exactly what he needs. But it was his customer. He was a surveyor, but it was his customer. And he goes, yeah, I think this is exactly. So like, it's not even somebody that we would typically sell to.
Yeah. And
he was like, yeah, I think this is what they might need. And so perhaps, remains to be seen, perhaps that might bridge the gap where the end user, right? The person you're given the deliverables to that may or may not know how to use the data. Yeah. This might help them. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah. I think data storage is going to be the biggest challenge moving forward, because we are able to collect more points faster than ever, more data faster than ever. We were talking to, remember the guy we talked to in Energio, whose company, he scanned mobile LiDAR, every single road.
Mobile scanned every
Netherlands. Every road in the Netherlands. Yeah.
There is a point cloud out there that is the Netherlands.
Wow. What
every road.
Like 14 roads or 21?
Netherlands not that big. I mean, it's still a big, it was a big ask. It was a huge effort.
It's like scanning Connecticut.
I'm not diminishing it. I was just
yeah. No, I get it. But it was just I'm like, so where do you put all this data? He's like, we have data warehouses, basically. And then I just read an article yesterday about the amount of water it takes to cool the servers.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different
for ChatGPT Wait, hold on. I think I just came up with something.
You sure did.
No,
I just
that's 2 trademarks in one episode. That's got to be a record.
ChatGPT surveyors.
Don't repeat it.
I'm not marking that. No,
have you seen that? I think it was yesterday. Google said they were going to build nuclear reactors for AI. Rock and roll.
Who has that as a ringtone? First, and
only
foremost?
But nuclear reactors for their
AI.
Yeah, because it's going to take that much energy.
Oh yeah.
And what that guy was actually saying was they found a way to compress all that. They have to there's no that you can't deal with that amount of data, so they have to package it and then you want this town? Okay, we'll unpackage that. Figure out what you need. We'll pull out what you want, and then you can have it. But otherwise, it stays in this freaking vortex of
And they didn't even scan it super dense scans, but it was good enough that it could be used for asset management type thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's he's we own that data, so we'll sell it to whoever would like to use it.
It kind of blows my mind.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's great.
If you have the technology, why not go capture it?
Why not?
Yeah.
And it's getting easier and easier.
Exactly. And it kind of, it's weird being in the position that we're in, because we know what the possibility is.
Yeah.
We know what the capabilities are. And then you go talk to people and they're like, oh, we're doing this project where they have X miles of infrastructure, hundreds of miles, and they have no idea where it is.
Yep.
Right? It's like, how does that even exist?
Happens all the time
in the modern age. But I think it's not 10 years, but I think there comes a time in our lifetime where literally everything is mapped.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I agree
we all agree.
Yep.
And I have to ask this question because I'm the one non-surveyor background person here.
Oh, really?
What the fuck do you guys do? If everything's mapped,
well, no,
and it's just a data extraction exercise. He said 10 years.
No, I said not 10 years.
Okay.
I said in our lifetime.
In our lifetime. Okay,
we'll pick the youngest, which is not you.
Me.
20 years. I mean, but think about it. Like in some time, everything will be mapped.
In 20 years? I think so.
And then is there a case for data collection other than just data extraction?
Well, I don't think you have to account for change, right? So there will be other technologies that change in real at the same time, at the same pace or faster.
But you know what? There's going to be these amazing...
Because there's going to be tunnel systems that we don't have now.
Well, below the Earth's surface, no doubt about it. But there's going to be these amazing LiDAR sensors that are mounted to satellites, circumnavigating the Earth all the time, constantly scanning the Earth, constantly developing a 3D model that is going to be available to freaking anybody.
And to answer your questions, we'll sell you something else. So we can't tell you what we're going to sell you in 20 years because we don't know.
Yeah.
But
it'll be eventually it will be a thing that doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just but there's going to be there's going to be a 3D world and there's going to be a 2D world.
Yeah, yes and no. We still sell conventional total stations and theodolites and auto levels.
Who buys them
all the time?
They do they do need to exist.
So let's think about that for a second. Like if there's a 3D world, well, I guess we're living in a 3D world. So there's a 4D world and a 3D world.
Yeah,
right?
I still understand the D's after
4D. Well, no, 4D is a point in time.
Let's
4D
just
is a time. Yeah.
Let's just pretend that.
But where were you? Yeah, keep going.
Let's pretend we understand 4D and 3D because I don't understand it either.
Yeah.
Let's just say we're living in 3D, right? The future is 4D.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to maintain 3D, right?
Yeah, we're not even there in 3D yet. We haven't even cracked the surface in 3D.
I think
yet. Pun not intended.
I think this industry will be maintaining 3D and keeping things in place, right? Because if everything's measured, right? If there's satellites, what do they call it? Skynet? Is that what they call that?
Well, there's a bunch.
One of the terms.
This is going to be my my argument to that. Like we're moving all the time. The plates of the Earth are moving, especially in California. That's why it made me think of it. When you do a survey in California, like a static survey of some sort or whatever, that is a snapshot in time because you have to take into consideration the calculations of everything moving.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's madness. It is absolute madness.
I did one job in California and I never wanted to do another one. Something happened. There was like a seismic shift thing. And all the VRS network went down. Yeah. And we shut down for days.
If I was like a VRS network in California, I'd be like, screw that shit. I don't want any part of it.
You guys are so cute. You just can't handle it when anything moves.
Well, no, because we're precise. We are precise. So is this coordinate today? And it's like this coordinate tomorrow, and it's this coordinate the next day. And
it does because it changes because it moves. That's what happens.
Yeah, but how do you reconcile your previous data set to the current data set?
Your problem because it moves.
So like your data set is accurate for that day.
Yeah.
The next day it's technically not accurate.
And if you can't figure it out,
get over it.
If you can't
moves.
figure it out, you call Scott.
I know.
Just call Scott.
I know you guys are this OCD land that you can never move, but it does move. It moves.
It's okay. I thought we were vibing for a minute.
I did too, and I'm about to go into attack mode. So,
yes,
love it. Do we know when civil engineering started? Like, when did that become a profession? It's not the second oldest profession.
Here we go. It's the third.
It's
behind. Okay.
So we're not too concerned about surveying sticking around.
Speaking of, I think we need to wrap it up because we're going down a path that.
Hit him with it, buddy.
You guys got anything else? It's been a great conversation. I love the back and forth.
It was great.
Anything else you want to get about AllTerra Central? You guys are great. The company's great. We love you.
Yeah.
What else you want to get out there?
I think we've said enough. I just, to be honest, I was nervous about doing this.
Come on.
Oh yeah, man.
You're fucking natural.
See, it's not just me.
He's a natural.
Oh, hey, no doubt about it.
Both of you guys.
He carried this team, baby.
And I didn't know what to expect, but I wanted to tell you guys, y'all do a great job.
Hey, thank you.
The communication was fantastic. Everything you did made me feel at ease.
Awesome.
Man,
Yeah.
I was just so excited coming here and doing it.
Very cool.
Yeah,
well, we were excited to have you.
And thank you for everything y'all are doing.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you guys are doing a great job. You did a great job leading us into this whole thing and carrying us through it. That we appreciate everything both of you guys did.
It was so much fun. It was so
the
much fun.
partnership's been great for us, and we appreciate everything about it.
And anytime I get to work with other surveyors, we're golden.
Exactly.
It's those engineers that get difficult.
Yeah, I know. All right. Speaking of difficult, we got one question I have to ask both of you, and you have to give me a good, honest answer. We ask everybody, do you have a mantra that you live by? Kory, I'll go with you first.
You can go as
Can I give you two?
You can go as shallow and as deep as you'd like to go.
Yeah, you go as shallow as deep, and you give me two.
All right, I'm going to go pretty simple. I'm going to say always do the right thing. Right?
Okay.
Period.
Yeah.
You do that, you'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I learned from my kids are in Taekwondo, and they have this mantra that I love, and I repeat it as many times as I can, and it applies to so many different things. Focus, confidence, never give up.
Ooh.
Like that?
That is solid.
I like it.
I'm sorry. I'm just marking that for later so we can use it. What do you got, Scott?
No, that was beautiful. What was the question? No, we do have a motto. It's a family motto. My wife and son would tell you the same thing. It's simple. It's always take the high road.
Yep.
That's how we handle every situation, no matter what it is. Just always take the high road. And things always seem to work out in a positive direction, just like your quote you read earlier.
Yeah, love it.
Yep.
That positive energy comes back to you. So
we just got to get Sean to live by it. He'll be okay, though. Sean will be okay. He'll be all right. How are we doing? Are we ready to wrap this up?
We are ready. Waiting on you, buddy.
All right. There we go. Thank you guys so much, man. This has been an absolute blast. I knew it would be. And I knew once I got Kory's bio, I'm like, we're going to be best friends forever.
And it's always good to have a awesome friend of the program on the show.
1,000%. Some of my favorite episodes. Adding value and making friends. Can we check that box?
Check that box,
we made a new friend. We added tremendous value tonight. It's been great. If anyone would like to be a guest on a future show, shoot us an email at info@thegeoholics.com. We're almost booked through this year, so we're starting to
a couple spots left in December,
middle of December, I think maybe.
We got to fit one in for our friend in Nigeria. She was awesome. We're going to fit her in.
Of course we will.
Yeah.
Of course we will. All right, Greyhounds, get back, available everywhere.
Greyhounds, great band.
Thank you, dude. Thank you so much for introducing me to this band.
You're welcome.
I am so excited. Until next time, everyone. This is a bit lengthy. First and foremost, Scott's a freaking pro. You don't have to carry a thumb drive anymore. Did you know that? You don't have to carry a thumb drive.
I knew that.
Multi-trademarked data source integration. I don't know if I got that right, but it's close.
You didn't say it well enough, but yeah.
Leave no stone unturned as a server. I love that. Focus, confidence, never give up. Amazing mantra. And Scott gets the last word. Always take the high road.
Yeah, right. Love it.
I got one, baby.
Love you, baby.
One more.
Most importantly, be safe and healthy, everybody.